Hello, Bethany here with Just Be Scrap and welcome. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough of a custom order I just finished up for a lady named Tuesday. She's ordered several custom orders here in the last 8 or 9 months from me. This one came about because she had taken one of my previous junkers to work, and one of her co-workers was so inspired and asked if I could do something related to cooking, like a cookbook or something like that. So I said, let me think about it. I think I can manage that. She asked for 2, so this is just one of 2, but they're very similar, so I'm just going to go through this one. It is a hardback, just like Nik the Booksmith, and I don't change very much from the original tutorial that Nik does. If you're interested in that, by the way, it's on her Etsy shop at Nik the Booksmith. And the only thing that I do differently, and maybe Nik does this too now, I'm not sure, I haven't watched it in a while, but I do my covers, the front and back, are out of hardboard, and I now make all of my spines with hardboard too, because I am a journaler and I like my journals to lay flat. So that's about the only thing that I've changed from that original Booksmith course. So, as you can see, the cover, the title is The Cook's Book. It is not a cookbook. I am by no means a cook, but I have a mother who loves to cook, and she likes to come up with her own recipes and try different things, so this is a great place for something like that. Also, when I took it into a friend of mine at work to show her, she thought it would be really cool to use it like a family heirloom cookbook. So she thought taking it to her mom and having her mom write in some recipes, taking it to her mother-in-law and having her mother-in-law write in some recipes. So I thought that was very clever as well. So it can serve several purposes. But let's get into it. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. We'll start with the end here. This is the inside cover, and I just put a tuck spot with a couple of tea-dyed recipe cards. I'd say 90% of everything in here, probably 95%, is tea-dyed. So all of the signatures have a cover page. This one happens to be a vintage cookbook cover that I just printed from a digital download. I think I got it on Graphics Fairies, but I won't swear to it. So I do use a cooking digital kit from Etsy that I picked up throughout the book as well. So that's in here. But the pages are typical junk journal pages. They all just kind of set up like this. I'm going to flip through this one quickly, and then I'll get in and talk about a couple of these things here in a moment. Yeah, so the pages are typical junk journal pages, like I mentioned. Here is the start of my second signature. I used a tea dye over a stencil on that one just to kind of set it apart on your ledger, and I'll come back and talk about this page with that side of it here in a second. Another thing I put in in each signature, there's 4 signatures if I hadn't mentioned that. Each of them have this little tea bag with what I've called a jotter. And I've just taken my cut-off remnants of the tea-stained paper, stacked it up, and put it in a little notebook. So that'll make a great place for keeping notes that you really don't need out. Measurements or whatnot, or maybe a grocery list for the store. Excuse me. As we get to the center of the book, you'll notice I have a 5th signature right here. This is one of those clasp envelopes. He's all by himself. He is a 5x7. I thought he would be a great place to add in if you're doing like a garden party or a Christmas party and you need ideas for seating, you need menu plans, you need a grocery list, you need a decorating list. It would be a great spot to keep all of your notes in. So that's why I included it. The 3rd signature starts with another digital printout of a vintage cookbook. And this is the one we'll just walk through. Just like I said, they're all pretty much set up the same in the signatures. So we have our ledger page. We have just some tea-dyed page, part of that digital kit that I added in. some different papers. This is the one I want to talk about. So on this one, I needed a place to keep the actual recipe cards, so I came up with an idea to using the photo envelopes or invitation envelopes, and I kind of stacked them up in a staircase, and then each of them can hold at least 2 or 3 of the recipe cards or index cards. If you have a recipe and you need lots of notes to go with the recipe, that can go in here. And then on the back, I have a pocket and a tuck. The way that this came about is that because a regular 8.5 by 11 copy paper would not accommodate for envelopes on this side and envelopes on this side, I used a legal size sheet of copy paper, is what I did. And then put those on there. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, that was going to be, with the envelopes and then the cards in the envelopes, it was going to be too heavy for my copy weight paper. So I thought of taking a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet. I turned it on its short end, kind of divided it up between the middle, stitched here, stitched there, which you can't see it because that bottom little like 2-inch, I folded up, which is what gave me my tuck spot. So it worked out great. This just came out of my head. I believe this right here, this idea of stacking envelopes, probably came from YouTube somewhere, or maybe one of the blogs that I follow, but I thought it was a really ingenious idea. So, but I do like having the extra support behind it and giving me those additional places to tuck things. So it worked out perfect. And then, like I said, bits and pieces still throughout. I don't do a lot on the actual pages. I like to leave those blank. Whoever gets this journal down the road, that's their spot, that's their real estate, and I don't want to take it up with my own interpretations. You know, I want them to be able to be as creative with this as they want. So just little bits and pieces I've added in. There's one of my tags from my tea bag after I finished my tea. Part of that digital kit. Another one of those pages with the envelopes. And then we get into our final signature here. Here's another one of my jotters in the tea bag. This is a bigger tea bag with a larger jotter. Another one of my tea bag tags. And then on the very last page, a friend of mine at work, I always take her my stuff to show her because she's always interested in what I'm doing, what I'm making. She was flipping through here and kind of looking back and forth and got to this very back page, and similar to this one right here as what I had originally, but she ended up accidentally ripping it right here and right here. And so I had to fix that, of course. And she felt horrible. It was a total accident. I was not upset. I was just like, no, I can fix it. So this is what I came up with to fix it. I did like a little file flip out. So another great place if you are doing a party planning, you could do like your recipes here that maybe you want to try, or the ones you know for sure that you want to do. You could make a list of your seating arrangements, your decorations, maybe recipes over here that you wouldn't mind giving a try that you're not sure about just yet. So this actually turned out into a great little piece, and if I could, I wish I would have done this for both. I'm not going to rip up my other one just to make it like this though, so this will be the only one that has this little fold out in it. But super awesome. I absolutely love the way this turned out with the, it's got a light blue cover that I kind of distressed over with like a spring green, and then I distressed it all up with a dark tea stain or vintage photo or something. But it's just beautiful. It turned out so awesome. It's a solid, heavy book with lots of room, so I think Tuesday's really going to love it, and I hope whoever ends up with this, I think she said her mother and maybe her sister-in-law, I hope they love it too. So thank you so much for taking a walkthrough with me. Again, my name is Bethany, and you can find me here on YouTube. I also have an Etsy. It is Just Be Scrap. The B is capitalized. You can also find me on Instagram, and my blog is justbescrap.com. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.